Happy hump day. All is well in the world when St. Johnny's on the call.
Woo! Got my B-boy glasses on. Look at the Iolani Palace hat. Rocking there, Danny.
Woo! In the
Hawaii's
haven.
finest. Yep. So Hawaii's finest is a cool clothing brand that was actually started on Molokai. And Poncho
Oh, yeah.
Alcon's been my he's Poncho Alcon's been my family's insurance man on Molokai forever. And it was actually his son that got it started. Um, So kind of a cool business. What their main business really is that they are musical promoters. So like guys like Ekolu and Kapena and all these Hawaii singers, they get them together. They do all these big bands, get, big concerts going together. And then they were smart enough to come up with their own clothing line. They make all the musicians wear the clothing line. Boom, sell out the clothes. So
Wow.
little tidbit there. One little word about this Iolani Palace here, Danny. Believe it or not, Hawaiians had electricity in this palace before the White House did. The White House
Huh.
was still on gas. That's where the Ali'i really wanted to be modern. I've had these discussions with my boys who went to Kamehameha schools. It's kind of cool to listen to that at the tail end of our Ali'i and Royal Hawaii experience.
That
But
is pretty cool.
it's yeah, man. So just a little bit of
Fun fact.
yeah, fun facts here about
That's what we're all
Hawaii.
about, right? It's just kind of a little bit of everything around here, little fun facts that maybe you didn't know or didn't hear about, and just kind of fun conversation around the dinner table.
That's it. So we were talking earlier, usually on Wednesdays, hump days, we provide a market update basically. We
Yep.
feel like it's a good idea. Maybe we transition that. We'll do it on Fridays. You'll make it happen on Saturdays. So
Yep.
I think that's a smart strategy, dude. We'll go through the entire week. With that being said, man, Mayor Bisson has come out kind of giving us an update on how he feels about this whole Minatoya thing. Man, it seemed like he was walking it back in the past, but then I don't know who talked to him now because he seemed to come back with more vim and vigor.
Hmm. I did see and hear some of that.
Yeah.
So break it down real quick for people. What is his
Well, I mean,
latest?
he just kind of basically dug his heels in on this whole Minatoya condo thing and felt that it was his moral right to have the original plans be back into place with these whole apartment zoning places being, residential. And then, for me, kind of interesting because the comments made were kind of almost like, we did it to ourselves, you know, I don't know, like zoning. So we haven't updated our zoning in eons here on Maui. And that's why
Mhm.
it is so funky that, like, for example, Halama Street, there's like 3 or 4 homes on that street that are zoned apartment that because of that are allowed to be vacation rental. And we have that, like we've talked about in North Kaanapali Beach by Airport Beach. There's 6 homes there that are zoned hotel because of where they were built. But they're houses, they're not hotels. But kind of made some of these comments like, it was their fault for doing that. And I'm like, but, the county is the one that puts these things into place. Just like some of the offhanded comments about Hololani. Like it's almost the complex's fault that they built too close to the ocean. And I'm going, well, that was a different version of Maui County back in the 70s that said, this is where you build your condo. And then people did that. And then
Yeah.
now we have this new thing that, wow, man, this is the climate doesn't stay the same. Beaches come and go. They erode. They go down here. So anyway, I don't know what to make of all that little word vomit there, but I just find it interesting when the government's trying to blame the people for something that's happening when it's like, well, no, like the people don't just get to build, unfortunately. We have to listen to what you tell us. And this is what you said back in the 70s that's now having an effect here in the 2025. So
It changed a little bit. Yeah, it seems like it would be nice to hear of maybe like, hey, we did allow this at that time,
yeah.
and now things have changed, and so we just got to look at it a little bit differently, a little bit something along that, maybe some transparency. But it does feel like it goes along with some of what we're seeing in the world and the culture just in general of like people kind of going back and sort of criticizing how things were done in that day and age, which I mean, as humans, we all kind of look at our own lives, right? Like, look at how dumb I was as a teenager. Look at stupid decisions I made in my 20s. Like, there's always things we didn't know at the time. And I mean, there seems to be a little need for grace and kindness along the way to like, hey, we probably could have done a little bit better, but we didn't know.
And it almost, I'll pick on the Hololani again. It almost feels like, I don't know, the county kind of wants it to topple into the ocean so that they can make a point, because they're not allowing them to do any measures to kind of secure themselves, because maybe that would get into the environment in the ocean. But I'm like, man, so what's going to happen when it topples into the ocean? Doesn't that cause more problems? I mean, we all freaked out when the town burned down because of asbestos and all these other things. So wouldn't that be bad if that fell into the ocean? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Well, these are kind of the things we consider, don't we?
So what we talk about, think about, maybe we don't have too much power to change it. That the conversation is worthwhile.
It is, and it's just an awareness we have to have. So with that being said, let's jump into these numbers, shall we? And remember, if the comments get too heated, we'll just delete the video.
Well, I mean, people are pretty nice to us so far. I think we've only had like a few thumbs down in 100 videos, and no nasty comments. You know, people wanting to sell us crypto, but no nasty comments.
Just want to have a conversation and speak truth to what's happening. I think that, like, everybody's so used to being on different sides here, and I just want to kind of come together. I don't know. Let's all talk story together. K90 Kai, west side of Molokai, Kaluakoi is what the community is called. The beach, Papahaku. You can still buy a 1-bedroom, 1-bath vacation rentable condo in Hawaii for $239,000, guys. And it's a larger one, man. 681 square feet, Danny. That's impressive for a 1-bedroom. Maintenance fees $725, was $299, down to $239. 353 days on market. You recently had a conversation with some Molokai agents that do some vacation rental management. What was the number that they threw you, Danny, in terms of expectations for income on a Molokai condo?
Yeah, they said like 20 to 30 grand.
There it is, guys. 20 to 30K.
Basically, the big reason for that is the season on Molokai is only from November, December to March, April, roughly. Like, according to them, nobody really comes the rest of the year. It's just the winter for a few people, and then the rest of the year they don't really get any vacation rooms.
That's interesting, right? Because most of our clients, they're trying to get out of the PN Dub, right? They want to get out of the Pacific Northwest because it's rainy, and they want to come here from November through February. So, good stuff there, Danny. Appreciate you sharing that. Got a nice lot here in Lanikeha. We like Lanikeha. It's the newest community in Kaanapali Hillside. They have a beautiful clubhouse that basically nobody uses except for the gym, and a beautiful pool there. But Kaanapali does care about views, and at Lanikeha, you do have roof height restrictions. So makes for some interesting driveways, but that's all to preserve views. Half an acre there, $895, Danny, was $930. Pay $477.62 in property taxes there. Association dues $743. I want to say there's another charge on that one there as well, because you pay association dues to Kaanapali Golf Estates. That's quarterly, and then I believe you pay the maintenance fees directly to Lanikeha. I want to say it's around $1,500 total. So just my assumption there. Laukahi Strait here in Kihei. I mean, looks like just a nice normal home, but Moana Estates is right there at the border of Wailea. And this one had some nice remodeling done last year, 2024. That's why we're looking at $2,399,000. Already dropped at 100, a little over a month in, but that's a gorgeous neighborhood there, Danny.
A pretty neighborhood. I mean, they are basic homes. They're not really anything special or ordinary or over the top. I mean, they're pretty typical neighborhood development.
There it is. Nice homes.
They've skyrocketed in the last couple of years.
They sure have, man. They sure have. Kihei Akahi, buddy. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, so $1,129,000, dropping at $30,000 after 27 days on the market. So this is how you show the market that you are motivated, is by doing these incremental price reductions. Because guys, right now, it's a tough market to find. What do I mean by that? Just a tough market to price in. I mean, Danny and I talk about things and things that we feel are deals, and some will fly off the shelves and some sit. And then some things we scratch our heads on and it sells within a week. But that's humans for us, right? So, new subdivision opportunity here. Haiku Town
What is this
Acres. I'm a
picture?
fan.
What is
So
this
this is
picture?
it's the
I
Ohana,
feel like I'm
Danny.
out in Kansas or something, out in
There,
the fields, out in the
just
prairie or
showing
something.
showing the side there, the lower view there. It is kind of an interesting photo to lead with, isn't it?
Sure
And
is.
now we're in the interior. It is brand new construction. What we're looking at here is the Ohana or ADU, and it's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath at 1,000 square feet. What they did was they have 2 acres total. They got an architect and a real estate attorney to CPR or condominium property regime the entire lot. And so you are buying 0.47 acres of exclusive common elements. You're going to get a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,000 square foot new construction in one of the nicest communities, new communities in Haiku Town there. That's how that works. And then with the rest of the acre and a half, these guys can probably take the money they made after this and then develop the main house for them. Watch this time and time again there, Danny. The CPR play of Maui. Kahului Akena, 575 down to 549. That's great money for a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. What's going to hold back most local people is the 1,500 per month there. I mean, that's
That's
18
pretty
grand
steep.
a year there, Danny. Like I start thinking about that in terms of yearly cost. So yeah, man, 18,000 pays for the maintenance
What's
fees
going on
there.
in that HOA that they're boosting it that much? That can't all be insurance.
You
I
know
mean,
what
that's
I feel,
starting to get
Danny?
more expensive than a lot of
I,
vacation rentals, even.
dude, I feel like these guys, so built in 94, I feel these guys did what they did at Maui Lani Terraces and they kept the fees low to help local people. But then a lot of the big projects now caught up with them, and this is what happens here. So HOA fees suck. I said it, but you have to have them in a condominium property regime. You just have to. You have to have the place kept up because if not, replacement cost is high, man. So I think that that's what happened here, buddy. That's a lot, man. Wait until you see Pohailani these days, Danny. Been surfing with a brother of mine. Simple massage therapist, bought in there. I mean, it's nuts. Hula
Hmm.
Poi, guys, we are on the island of Lanai. Four Seasons is right about here. This is Manele Bay in the Manele district. This is all part of the development around the Manele resort area. And you're looking at picking up an acre for 2.2 million right along the golf course there. As we can see, views are going to be
Nice spot.
amazing there as well. So 0.94 acres just hit the market today. Go hang out with Larry Ellison over there on Lanai. Kapalua Ridge, Danny, 815. I want to say that this one was listed before and I actually showed it. Some beautiful views there, man. So 1,120,000, 1 bedroom, 2 bath. You pay 1,102 for the maintenance fees. Kapalua Ridge is zoned for apartment. So when it comes to the Minatoya list, there is potential that the vacation rentability does go away. Just a heads up there. Kihei Kainani, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, zoned hotel, coming out priced like everybody else's, huh, Danny? I think they all start here in the high sevens, was what it feels like to me.
What they're doing.
Yep. And they're moving. So that's why. Napili Villas, this is one of the 3 bedroom, 2 baths. Everybody's making some price reductions, it feels like these days. Was 974 500 down to 899 900 now. It looks to be on the first floor there. Villas at Kahana Ridge. Wow, man. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 875. Looks like you get to enjoy that view there. 1,174 square feet, 1,607 for the maintenance fees there as well, Danny. The maintenance fees are really hurting our condo market. Halekanani, across from Charlie Young, Cam 1 Beach, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Built as workforce housing back in the day, still strictly residential. 1,098 pays the maintenance fees there, Danny.
There you go.
Pakuloa, this is new in Haiku, built in 2021. It's on 0.16 acres. Not sure why we have this other number there. This is Unit B, so just kind of messed up playing with this one here. They didn't give us the whole scoop. Definitely looks like water catchment over here, Danny. That's what I'm seeing there, buddy. Yep. So, guys, not a lot of water meters around these days. So a lot of times you're going with water catchment in areas like Haiku or Kula if you're wanting to build. Man, it seems like everybody comes out with those Ohanas at $2 million or right around it there in Haiku. Harbor Lights, Danny. Aspirational in the A building with the views. There it is. That's the Disney cruise ship right there, guys. Did Jen lose his flipper? Chris has got this one listed, or Dave, or somebody else does. But looks like another guy. Yeah, it looks like similar handiwork, but did not put in the ACs, Danny. 350, no AC.
ACs, and then they didn't also plaster the wall.
Oh no? Did it still look funky?
They still have the cinder block wall in there.
Very interesting. Yeah,
I don't see 350.
Aspirational. Let's see it. We'll keep an eye on it. Oh, that looks like Pineapple Hill if I ever seen it there, buddy. Crestview Road. Man, prices have sure gone up in Pineapple Hill Estates, man.
Dude, the
42.
Kapalua at large, just going up.
Well, you got Mahana Estates bringing 8-9 million, but you at least got acreage there. But you know, it has that effect, man. So gorgeous community here. This is if you want a little less upkeep, only on half an acre there. Built in 2005. Just classic style. And man, these Pacific pines here, North Polk pines, just so iconic up there in Kapalua. Although they are not indigenous, they are still iconic. Want to say you can thank D.T. Flemings, the beloved manager of Maui Landed Pine, for that one. Canceled this guy with that beautiful photo there, Danny, and the 6 photos that went along with it. $1.9 million for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 960 square foot, but came on 6 acres. So there was the value there. You could have a lot of dirt around you.
Never understand pitching a $2 million property with 6 crappy photos. Just don't understand the play.
I don't either, man. Just keep it on Zillow.
Give it a shot. Yeah, I don't.
Yep.
No, I'm not sure.
This one they gave the good college try here, Danny, on Kenaleo. So also on the doorstep of Wailea, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,243 square feet, but still a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. Just nobody wanted to pay over $1,000 a foot for it. And the seller did not want to make any incremental price reductions. So that one got canceled.
Would you agree, Johnny, this is about as typical as they come for a Maui house? 1,200 square feet.
That is your typical size here. And that's an upgrade from the plantation days when it was about 900 feet and came with 3 bedrooms, 1 bath.
Yep.
We live small over here, dude. We really do, man. I mean, you just don't need much because you want to be outside so much as well. But give me some space. I'm sure I can figure out how to use it. This one expired here, Danny. Yep, one of the rare condos in Honda. And these guys felt strongly enough to increase the price by $375,000 over the 547 days it was listed since October of 2023. Exclusive agency, so it's only put on the MLS only there. So this means what, Danny? You can't put it out on Zillow or anywhere else where people may see it?
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere else.
Well, guys, interesting strategy here. We can all agree it ended up being expired because of it. Another expired here in Haiku, looking at a 5-bedroom, 3-bath with this view here, obviously. 2,533 square feet on 1.5 acres, rehabbed in 2022. Nobody wanted it for 2.85. Did come with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whole other house. Okay. Maybe could have started me off with the compound picks. Let me know
That's
what I'm
quite a
buying with my
compound, yeah.
money. I mean, it's compoundy for sure. Quite the loft there. But yeah, didn't tell me enough to pay 2.85 for it, is what the market said. Oh, they did not pick up the one for 569, but they did pick up this guy right here. That's a cool picture to start out with there, Danny. That's almost a
Pretty cool.
postcard, man. That is. Didn't want it for 898. It's in Cavella. Cavella is a more developed portion of Molokai. Does sit just outside of the town of Kaunakakai. A lot of building up in the hills there, and then this is right on the beach. So this is in escrow now for $799. Was the list price. Don't know what it's going to sell for. Keep you posted. Liho Street, Pu'uone Track, 1972. We're in that old Sand Hills area there, Danny. These ones rarely make sense, but man, they sell for a lot in this area for older homes, dude. 1848 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, comes with the 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 500 square foot detached ohana. I think somebody might do a CPR flip here, or they just wanted multi-generational living. So that's
It's a
a
nice area
popular
over there. I
neighborhood,
like
dude.
it. I like
It
it. I have some
is.
friends over there, and we used to barbecue all
Yeah.
the time. I mean, it's nice.
Real close to that Nikkei museum area, real close to like going to the concerts that we have at the Mac. Kanaya Nalu, man, Leasewood still sells here, guys, for the right price. Ma'alaya definitely still has a good portion of leasehold. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 455. Said no at 475, but 91 days later at 455, somebody threw an offer in, and now we're in escrow. Well, what do I have to pay, John? Well, you got to pay 1,100 monthly for the fees. In addition to that, you'll pay 1,007 for the rent, and you can own this until 2066. And in 2066, man, they may sell the fee to you, they may extend it, or they may take it back. That is the scoop there. So 2,000, 2,100 change in fees, Danny. So gets you a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for 455 or less. That's the scoop, man. That's why people do it.
Makes
Woo, Halama
sense.
Street. High five, Danny. Dink.
Woo!
All right, buddy. That was an adventure. Oh, brah, somebody stole something in Pineapple Hill. 500 Pacific Drive, 3.75. Nope. I will pay 3.45 though. 67 days later, you gotta be cash. Cash always gets a bit of a discount. Contract date was the list date. Was this listed and sold prior to? Sold prior to listing. Off-market sales do happen, guys. That's a little bit of a steal there, man. Well done,
And you
Courtney.
get a steal. Yeah. What
That's
what
it.
happens when it's off market? Either we were talking about this earlier, Johnny. Usually, you get a really good deal. Uh, for whatever reason, someone just wanted to
Yeah.
unload it. They sold to a friend,
Could be
something like that.
family members. That's exactly it. That's how
Hard
those
to
things
say the
happen.
whole story. Unfortunately, those deals are not available to everyone all the time. There's not like a secret
Nope.
booklet that we can just flip
Nope.
open and get you a really good discount. And then oppositely, sometimes those deals go for a lot more, and
They
someone may have
do.
paid too much. As we seen,
But
we had some discussion at Harbor Lights. Maybe someone paying 410,000 for a 2-bedroom. That to me says someone might have paid off market way too much money.
Danny, I have yet to see something sell at Kanapali Elite for $6 million, but this trophy penthouse unit sure did. And it sold before listed, dude. So look at that long escrow, bro. Went into escrow November 15, spits out 5 months later. I mean, dude, that's a crazy view and some even crazier furniture. Not sure why you needed to include that photo, but I'm grateful. I mean, somebody paid 6 million for a view, Danny. One heck of a view. To your point,
Massive.
High Poi Place, Ocean Poi. Interesting. 3.395. What'd you get? Well, you got a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home that looks like this. Unit A. shaved off 6 acres from 9.2 for exclusive common element rights. And they said, well, I'll pay a 2.4. And that's how that went down there, Danny.
Wow.
Aspirational at 3.695. 2.4 is what you put in your pocket. That's why we don't
Johnny,
really like
talk to
that
me about the
aspirational.
garages. We've looked at a few
Yeah.
garages today, new construction, and it's like tiny garage. This one looks like a 1.5. The other one was a 1. Why don't people like garage space in Hawaii?
You know, I'm not sure, Danny, but I can tell you this much. I do have a 2-car garage, and my wife uses it, and so do my surfboards. So it usually turns into a lot of storage, or a lot of garages become ADUs as well.
Yeah, these just look
Mm.
small. I'm like, man, if you live on 2 acres or 6 acres in this point, you probably have a riding lawnmower, maybe a golf cart, an ATV, something like that. Where do you put all this stuff?
I think you build a detached garage or barn.
Big barn.
There
You don't
you
see too much
go,
of that in
buddy.
Maui either. Not the big pole barn
Yeah.
like you see in the Midwest or elsewhere, 60 by 40 and all the toys.
Truth.
But sweet
Look at
spot.
look at this guy here, Danny. I'm excited as to who this sold to. Showed this to some clients. This one was owned by somebody that had an interesting past in the boom period of 2005. My understanding is they were a prolific lender, but then kind of went awry. But anyway, this was foreclosed upon by a group of investors that had felt that they were defrauded, and they wanted to sell it for the most amount of money to recoup some of their losses. So they started out very aspirationally at 3.88. I looked at this with some clients, had opportunity. A little bit of the funk, though, was doesn't really have a true front door. You got to kind of walk behind things. And then the way the parking is set up, you do have space over here for an ohana, but you would never be able to get a driveway to it. So you'd always have to walk to it. So anyway, some of the funkiness that went about there, but man, the views were amazing. House is definitely going to need some work, starting with the
How'd they get
roof.
it done with
And
the VA loan is my question.
dude, with VA loans now, there is no ceiling on the amount that you can borrow as long as you can qualify for it in terms of payment.
But they're
But
pretty
to your
strictly on
point,
condition.
condition,
Yeah.
so it showed nicely, dude. I mean, it
Okay.
did. So I think that it could fly. And I
Usable.
mean, our clients in Wailuku, to their credit, had a nice appraisal done by the VA person, and I think that some things were allowed to slide by. I don't know if that one was inhabitable, dude. Quite frankly, so I think a lot of times appraisers, especially if they're a veteran, I think they'll make it happen for you. Just my opinion, not throwing
Rock and
anybody
roll.
under the bus. Villas at Kealani, Danny, 1,275,000 for sale by owners, sold before listed. So that's the scoop there, man. Stuff selling. I mean, that's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath though. So that is a bit of a deal there for villas at Kealani. That's
Yeah.
what I got for today, Danny.
It was a good ride. We
Great.
talked about a lot of different things. Some fun facts, a little update from the Bison. We
Kealani
talked about
Palace,
garages, talked about palace,
electricity in
clothing.
Hawaii.
Clothing is
That's
such
it.
a thing in Hawaii. There's a lot of cool brands and people doing cool shirts and t-shirts and hats and all the things.
808 all day. 808allday.com. My
There
son
you go.
reps that at his college, and all the other Hawaii kids go, "Where did you get that?" Because it's only sold on Maui.
And
Yeah,
if
we
you
rep it
need
hard.
clothing suggestions or food suggestions, that's your guy, Johnny.
I could help.
Where if you look at his budget, that's where most of the money goes. Food and clothes. And a few other
Surfboards.
places. But yeah,
Surfboards. I do
and
buy a lot of
surfboards. Okay.
surfboards. Yeah.
But you don't need the clothes when you're surfing, so I don't know what he's doing. Once a
I've
year
trimmed that back.
he gets off the
I've trimmed,
island and he can wear some clothes.
dude, seriously, like I was just telling the wife, like we were just in Arizona. I went to Nordstrom Rack. I absolutely stole jeans, like, $200 rack rate. I'm buying them for 30, $40. Literally tags still on them in my closet.
Should wear them next year when we go to a conference or something.
I'll wear them when I go to the mainland, right? Because I mean, we wear jeans over here, but not a whole lot. Man. I don't know.
Not a whole
Anyway,
lot. Simple life. That's why you don't need a big house. So until next time, Friday, we'll have a good update for you on what's happening kind of in the day-to-day market. Till
yo,
then, aloha.
aloha.